What is up, my internet friends and family? I'm Charmix, and today I'm going to be reacting to Top 10 Facts Rick and Morty. Now, I absolutely love Rick and Morty. If you have not seen the show, I definitely recommend you check it out. It's probably one of the best shows out there right now. I mean, there are a couple really good ones, but Rick and Morty is probably one of my top. But with that being said, the original link's in the description. I hope this is very interesting, and let's begin.
When you first begin watching the series, it's quite evident that the two main characters, Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith, are based on Doc Brown and Marty McFly from the Back to the Future franchise. And that's actually how it all began. Back in 2005, Justin Roiland produced an animated series known as House of Cosbys. This bizarre show is about a guy living with 100 clones of Bill Cosby. It premiered at the non-profit short film festival Channel 101, which was co-founded by Dan Harmon, who quickly took a liking to Roiland's sense of humor. But in June of the same year, they received a cease and desist letter from Bill Cosby's lawyer and were thus forced to end House
what
of
a party
Cosbys.
pooper.
Because of this, Roiland decided to make a very obscene and crude parody of the Back to the Future movies as a sort of joke or protest against Universal Pictures. He called the short The Real Animated Adventures of Doc and Marty.
I got my boots. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Marty, we have a problem.
This is so similar to Rick and Morty.
What do? What are we gonna do?
It was never intended to be anything more than a joke, but Roiland became really fond of his own impressions of the two characters and decided to explore this idea further. Many years later, in 2012, Harmon was approached by Adult Swim to create an original animated show for the network. But Harmon, previously creating and working on Community, didn't have any real experience with animation at this point, so he immediately thought of Roiland. He gave him a call, and Roiland promptly pitched the idea of using the Doc and Marty characters to produce a show titled Rick and Morty. In the episode Me Seeks and Destroy, we meet a disturbing character known as King Jellybean. This character, like Rick and Morty themselves, is actually from a previous animation that Roiland produced called Unbelievable Tales.
Welcome to Unbelievable Tales. We don't have a lot of time here. I'm sorry. I apologize.
In this animation, the character is known as Crumply Crumplestein and is even more grotesque than the version in Rick and Morty. During the show, you might have noticed a character with rainbow-colored suspenders and an American football on his shirt.
I never noticed that.
The stitches on the football also appear to be in the form of Roman numerals, spelling out 18, 3, and 5. If you use the numbers for the corresponding letter in the alphabet, you get R, C, E. So what does that mean? Well, so far it means nothing, and it will likely remain that way. You see, Roiland explained in an interview that he himself, the creator of Galaxy Falls, Alex Hirsch, and Jason Ruiz, who was working on another animated show called Murder Police, got together one day and talked about including parts of a secret code in each of their shows. So if someone found all three codes and put them all together, it would make a word or a sentence. But for some reason, Roiland was the only one to follow through with this rainbow suspenders guy, and thus the secret code makes no sense.
I never noticed them anywhere.
One of the main reasons for the show being made in the first place was Roiland's distinct way of voicing both Rick and Morty. Long before the show began, it was a sort of inside joke among friends for Roiland to make these voices. It's been said that something that really makes the show unique is the way he's able to quickly switch between the two characters and improvise new lines and situations by essentially talking to himself.
He does
But
both?
This almost didn't happen because at first, Adult Swim didn't want him to be the voice of Morty. Instead, they were looking into other famous voice actors like Billy West and Tara Strong. But Roiland kept pushing his idea of voicing both characters, and eventually he got his wish.
He got swifty.
The theme song for Rick and Morty actually comes from another animated show that Roiland also produced called Dog World.
My name is Peter Michaels. While on a camping trip with my brother Edmund and sister Sally, we were sucked through some kind of wormhole and transported to another world. Dog world. Now we live with...
It's about humans living in a world with intelligent talking dogs. It was supposed to air on Cartoon Network, but the project was never completed as Roiland simply had too many things in development at the time. All that remains today is the animatic version available online. The episode Lawnmower Dog in Rick and Morty also makes a lot of references to this incomplete pilot. For example, the family in Dog World has a human pet named Ruffles, and in this episode the dog known as Snowball is mistakenly called Ruffles by Rick.
Alright, Ruffles. What's his name? Snuffles? Snuffles. Shake.
The father in each show is named Jerry after one of Roiland's real-life dogs. And then at the end of the episode, Rick and Morty makes a very clear and direct reference by saying this.
Wow, a whole world populated by intelligent dogs. I wonder what it'll be like, Rick.
I think it'll be great, Morty. You know, it could be developed into a very satisfying project for people of all ages. I mean, I'd watch it, Morty, for at least 11
I would
minutes
too.
pop.
Please,
You know,
please
maybe
make
they'll
that
do
a
it
thing.
board-driven.
You know, that's a real comforting idea, Rick.
What do you know, Morty? What do you know?
They need to make Dog World
Considering
happen.
that it's a heavily sci-fi themed show and that the initial idea is based upon the characters from Back to the Future, you would assume that the show is about time travel. But so far we haven't really seen anything regarding that topic. Sure, they travel through different dimensions and even stops time between season 1 and 2, but they never actually traveled through time. This is because both the creators think that time travel is simply too powerful and makes everything way too complicated. This is also why they made the first episode of season 2 about manipulating time. They wanted to show the viewers how chaotic and confusing everything becomes, and has described the production of that specific episode as a fucking nightmare because of all the different realities. The fact that they will never create a time travel episode is also highlighted by the box inside Rick's workshop, which is labeled time travel stuff. It's supposed to be a metaphor for time travel stories being on the shelf. It's possible that Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls are somehow connected. In the episode
What?
Society of the Blind Eye of the animated show Gravity Falls, a character accidentally drops his pen, notepad and mug through a portal. In the episode Close Rick Counters of the Rick Kind, these very same items can be seen emerging from
look
a
at that.
portal. It's also interesting that the Rick and Morty episode was released long before the Gravity Falls episode, which means it was either planned all along or the animators of Gravity Falls saw an opportunity to sort of complete the Easter egg. And it isn't that surprising considering that Alex Hirsch and Justin Roiland are longtime friends. Another connection to Gravity Falls can be found in the episode Big Trouble in Little Sanchez, in which the character Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls is briefly seen.
Wait, where was he?
In the episode Get Swifty of Season 2, co-creator Justin Roiland actually makes a cameo appearance as himself. Many of the episode's titles and entire plot lines are allusions to various forms of mainstream media. Some are quite obvious, like Anatomy Park being a reference to Jurassic Park, and Look Who's Purging Now being a parody of The Purge. Then there's more
That was an awesome
obscure
episode.
episodes like Lawnmower Dog being a reference to the movie The Lawnmower Man. In the same way that a dog becomes super intelligent in the episode, a mentally handicapped person becomes super intelligent in the movie. Me Seeks and Destroy is a reference to the Metallica song Seek and Destroy. The title and premise of the episode Morty Night Run is a reference to the movie Midnight Run. In both cases, the main characters are being chased by the government after helping a wanted criminal. The title of the episode Racing Gasorpasorp is a reference to Racing Arizona, while the episode itself is a parody of the movie Zardos.
I don't remember seeing that episode.
Unlike many other animated shows, everyone working on Rick and Morty seem to really strive for continuity. Let me give you some examples. In the final episode of season 1, we see the family house being teleported away and later back again, creating a giant crack around the entire house. This crack remains visible for the entirety of Season 2, and in one episode Jerry can even be seen using a weed whacker because the weed is whack, Joe. I mean, to cut the grass growing out of the crack in the pavement.
Weed is whack.
There's an episode called Total Recall in which alien parasites infiltrate the memories of the characters. The person who brought the parasites into the house in the first place was, of course, Rick, and how that happened is actually covered 2 episodes prior. Rick can be seen loading these green rocks onto his spaceship, which also happens to be covered with these pink parasite pods. And at the beginning of Total Recall, he can be seen throwing pieces of these green rocks into the trash, including the pods. This was also confirmed by Roiland himself. In Look Who's Purging Now, they accidentally create a hole in the roof of the house. In the next episode, the now repaired hole is still visible. Another minor detail that remains true in every single episode so far, believe me, I checked, is that Rick never wears a seatbelt, even though most other characters do. And there's of course numerous minor details just like these, which haven't been discovered yet.
Alright guys, hope you liked this video. This was awesome. If you guys haven't checked out Rick and Morty, please go do so. You will not regret it. And please make Dog World a thing. I would absolutely love to see that. It kind of reminds me of the Family Guy episode where Brian and Stewie traveled into a different dimension where dogs were the humans and humans were the dogs. That would be awesome to see a show based off of that, but with the comedy that is in Rick and Morty. I would love that. Anyway guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share it with a friend. If you're new, subscribe and join the family today. And if you're interested in any more reactions, check out The Critical Bastard where I do some there, and I'll see you guys next time. Boop!